Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be doing another book recommendation video, but one that's a little bit niche, a little bit specific. It's for people who are going to be spending this Thanksgiving alone or just not having like some big event that they have to go to or some party or something like that. These are books that aren't set on Thanksgiving but involve like huge family gatherings or the found family trope or just that sort of like feeling of community, and I feel like this would be perfect to read on that night just to feel like, you know, part of that festive spirit. So let's get into it. The first book I have is The Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walther. As you can tell by the title, it is not a Thanksgiving book at all. It's actually set in the summer, but the trope in the book, which is the family reunion trope, and it's like they go to this island and it's a huge family reunion, all her extended family is there, it's a wedding, and it just gives all of those vibes of like community and connection. It is such a good book. It hits all those notes. There's a lot about grief, there's a little bit of romance. It's very fun. It's both lighthearted and a little bit heavy at times, so I think it's like it strikes that perfect mood. Like you can read it, it won't be too much of like a light YA read. It's not like one of those very cringy ones. It does tackle some very deep themes, which I think makes it really good even if you don't like YA usually, and I think it's going to be perfect escapism as well if you love the summer. So that is my first recommendation. It is such a good YA romance book. It is about a family reunion. They basically play this game called Assassin, I believe, and that's what the book is revolved around, and it's really fun, and everyone who I've seen has read it really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it, so that's my first recommendation. The next one I have is Save the Day by Morgan Matson. This is another YA book, and this is more of a coming-of-age contemporary book, and it's again centered around a wedding. So most of these are like, when you think of family gatherings and books, it's usually going to be like a wedding or something like that, so that's probably why all my recommendations are like that. But this is another one centered around a wedding, and this one is, she's the youngest in her family, and it's her older sister's wedding, and everyone, all her like brothers and sisters are coming from their marriages, from college, wherever they are coming for the wedding, and basically it's super hectic because everything is going wrong. And all the siblings, and she's feeling like her siblings and her aren't connecting as much as they used to. It's not as she expected, and there's a lot of that sense of community, that sense of getting together for a big event, navigating hectic family relationships. And I feel like Thanksgiving is just sometimes a lot about like reflecting on your relationships with your extended family, maybe people you haven't seen in a while, you see only once a year, in addition to that sense of thankfulness. So this book definitely touches on that and how people change over time, and it's just so good. And of course there's lots of humor, lots of chaotic things happening. There's a very funny dog, and there's also a little bit of romance, so if you love YA, this is definitely one. Even I think for older middle grade readers, this would be good as well. Then I have A Court of Frost and Starlight. This is, I believe, the third book or the fourth book in the ACOTAR series by Sarah J. Maas. Of course, the whole series would be great, I believe. The found family trope of this series really starts in the second book, I would say, A Court of Mist and Fury, but this is the special novella, which is like set in Christmas, I would say, like their version of the Fae World's Christmas. And the found family, like this series has such a good found family trope, and every time I read their banter, it just reminds me of like family reunion banter with your extended family. It's just so good, and this is the holiday edition basically, and they're setting up for the holidays. There's lots of stuff happening, we're getting our different POVs, and it's just so good. If you want a very short read for the holidays, and if you love ACOTAR, definitely pick this one up. Otherwise, consider just like starting this series maybe, and you'll get to it eventually. But it's such a good book, and if you did not know this book existed, then you better read it if you love this series, because it's such a good addition. The found family is very strong. It's a YA fantasy series, new adult fantasy series, I would say, and it's this is the Christmas one, so it's a little bit lighthearted than the rest of the series. Then I have the classic, I have The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. This book is the definition of found family for me, and if you want like that feast, like Thanksgiving feast vibes, you definitely have to read it, because the hobbits love to have their feasts, the dwarves also love to have their feasts, and I know the scene when they're all at Bilbo's house, like when like one of the first scenes in the book, feasting before they go on their journey. That literally reminds me of Thanksgiving. It's so chaotic. And the atmospheric setting of Lord of the Rings is just perfect for fall. So if this is your sign to pick up The Hobbit, if you haven't before, if you love Lord of the Rings, and you have never picked up the books, if you love the movies, then definitely pick it up this Thanksgiving, because once you get into the found family trope of The Hobbit, you will not feel alone. Like, there's so many characters to follow, and their family, like, their sort of like found family relationship is so good, and it's just such a good escapism if you want to just forget where you are. It's amazing. Then I have Dial A for Aunties. This is more of a comedy book. It's an adult fiction book, I believe, and this one has the family sort of connection where our main character has like her mom and her aunties, and basically her aunties are like very cultural, like they have their cultural traditions, and they're very boisterous and chaotic, I would say. I don't even know how to describe them. Very out of the norm. They have little out of the norm quirks, and it's very hilarious because it's also set in a wedding. She's like a wedding caterer. They have their wedding caterer business, and she accidentally murders someone. That's not a spoiler, but she accidentally murders someone. So basically her and the aunties are just trying to cover it up and hide the body and make sure no one finds out. It's a really hilarious read. There's also a lot of connections. She's trying to like connect with her culture more, trying to find her sense of autonomy with all these like pressures from the aunties and her mom, and it's just very lighthearted, but also goes into those sort of familial tensions, and there is a lot of food because they all are a catering company and it's a wedding, so it gives off those sort of Thanksgiving feast vibes. And if you're looking for a more lighthearted read that will definitely make you laugh, and you want more of like a quirky family, then this would be the book for you. Then I have Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by I'm gonna check here. By Benjamin Stevenson. This is a more of a mystery thriller almost. So a little bit of a different genre than the rest of the books that I've recommended so far. Our main character, he's telling you that everyone in my family has killed someone, and now they are all reuniting on this island for, why were they reuniting? So basically they're having their like family reunion at this ski resort, and not an island, at a ski resort. So it's kind of in the winter, so almost fall, and basically he's telling you the stories of all his like family members and what they did, and there's so much tension, there's so much conflict, and there's also a lot of humor. And if you want more of like a dark, mysterious vibe where there's a murder and he's trying to solve it, but there's also a lot of those family tensions, then definitely pick up this book. I would say it's a little bit slow, so if you want more of like a slow read, then go for it. And the book also has a very interesting writing style, where he is like debriefing you at the beginning of each chapter. He's really connecting with you, so I feel like that also it's gonna make you feel less alone, because he's really talking directly to you, the reader. So if you want that kind of experience, this is a great book. Then I have Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney. No, don't think. Yes, Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney. This is another mystery thriller, so if you want more, an even darker mystery thriller, then go for this one, where she and her family they're having their reunion on this island, and someone dies, or like someone's posting like threatening messages, and one by one their family members are dying, and she's trying to solve the mystery and because she could be next. And it definitely goes into a little bit of the supernatural, so definitely more of a Halloween-y vibe, but it could extend into Thanksgiving, I would say. It's a bit of a smaller reunion. Her family isn't that big, but it is set in the dining room, so you're definitely giving that Thanksgiving vibe. And I would say this one is quite creepy, but it is a little bit predictable just because there's such few characters, I would say, but I thought the ending was still a nice surprise with that supernatural element. And I think if you're looking for a darker mystery thriller and that has some of that Thanksgiving family reunion gathering sort of plot line, then this would be the one for you. Then I have Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Taylor Jenkins Reid is one of my favorite authors, and this book is perfect for Thanksgiving because it follows a huge family. If you're wanting a book that has multiple POVs, where we get the perspective of different characters in the book, then definitely go for this one. And if you want more of an intergenerational story, then also go for this one. And this one really delves deep into that familial conflict, those tensions. The family is not very... they're not on good terms, really, and there's a lot of underlying issues that haven't been addressed. And if you just want some family drama, there's a lot of gossip in this book, especially through like tabloids and stuff like that. So if you're really wanting more of that family reunion gossip sort of vibe, then I would definitely read this one. And Taylor Jenkins Reid is just amazing, and this is another really good book, though it is set in Malibu, so you're probably not going to get that much of that Thanksgiving vibe, but this is definitely a good one. Then I have another this is not a YA, never mind. Then I have an adult romance book. This is Happy Place by Emily Henry. This is not one of my favorite Emily Henry books, but it does have a huge found family trope. It is set and this one's more of a childhood reunion, so like not childhood childhood friends, or not like college friend reunion. And so basically they are all coming together, and for their reunion there's a wedding happening, and there's a lot of tension because she is involved in a fake dating with her ex, and they're basically just trying to get through it. There is a lot of just like sense of like friendship and support and community in this book. Also like a lot about just like how people change over time, how people grow, how relationships can change. And there's also a lot of just like fun banter and flashbacks to when they were in college, and it really gives you that sense of like friendship. And if you want like a very angsty romance, then it has that as well, so it checks off all the boxes. So if you're thinking of picking up an Emily Henry book and it happens to be Thanksgiving, then definitely go with Happy Place. And also if you want more of that found family trope. Then for a middle grade recommendation, I have Nevermore by Jessica Townsend. And this is the first book in the Morgan Crow series. And it is definitely a good read for Harry Potter lovers, I would say, because there is a magic school. We have our normal girl. She thought she was normal, but she was really in a family situation where she, like just like Harry and the Dursleys, where they literally did not care about her at all, and she gets transported to this magical world and called Nevermore, and she is there, and they have such new traditions, and they have their version of Christmas there, and she's with her found family because she's away from her human family, so she gets adopted by this new family. And it's basically such a good found family trope, and they're just celebrating, and she's experiencing this new holiday. It's so festive. It is just has such this, and it's so basically if you want Thanksgiving but with a little sprinkle of magic, and like a girl finding her identity and finding her family with after being isolated for so long, then definitely go for this. You'll definitely connect with Morgan if you are feeling alone Thanksgiving. And if you just want a little bit of childhood, then this is the perfect read. Then I have Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard, but really I picked Magnus Chase because I remember specifically either in the first or second book there is a feast scene where he's in like the afterlife and they're having this huge feast, and he's with his like family, his like siblings from his how do I explain it? His siblings from his godly parent. Like, not his actual siblings, but they're connected through their godly parent. And I would say that any of Rick Riordan's books really would work, like any Percy Jackson or Heroes of Olympus or any of the Trials of Apollo, even all of those would work. They just all have that strong found family trope. But I said Magnus Chase in specific because Magnus, I feel like, was like really alone again at the beginning of the series. Like he was just very alone. He didn't have that sort of family connection, and he's making his friends, and there's just a huge feast scene as well. So if you want a mythology sort of book and you want a way more lighthearted read for Thanksgiving that has a lot of ties to Norse mythology, and there is also a huge feast, then you would love Magnus Chase. Then of course I have the classic Little House on the Prairie. I love Little House on the Prairie because it shows you that you can find ways to make the holidays special during times of hardship. They literally were spending Thanksgiving and Christmas with their house buried in feet of snow. They literally could not open the door. There was no food and nothing, and they were still making it festive. They were still finding ways to gift each other. They couldn't buy anything. There was no money, nothing, but they were creating, sewing gifts for each other. They were finding joy in the small things. And if you're just feeling let down and you're just in a dark, like a more solemn mood, you're trying to want to feel more uplifted and more optimistic, this book, Little House on the Prairie, literally every book, almost every book, they celebrate some sort of holiday and they're just finding the silver lining in everything. It will definitely transport you back to those childhood memories of just waking up every morning and being excited for the day of the holidays, and it's just very nostalgic. Of course, I have another classic, which is the last book in the Harry Potter series, The Deathly Hallows. Of course, any Harry Potter book will work, especially the first and last, I would say, because Harry and his friends just experience such good holidays at Hogwarts, especially Christmas. But especially, I would say, the 7th book when he's at Ron's house at the beginning of the book, and it's Fleur and Bill's wedding. The sense of found family that is just in that first like couple scenes in the book, where it's just, there's so much going on in the world, like the world is collapsing, and they're just like celebrating this like small just beacon of hope together, and the found family, and Harry's just like feeling so much love toward all his friends and the Ron's family, and it's just so good. You will definitely feel less alone, especially if you love the Harry Potter series, maybe even watch the movie. It is just great for nostalgia and for feeling that sense of just like family during a festive day. And the last book I have is, I'm not sure who's by, so I'm just gonna, it's similar to Dal A for aunties. It is 10 Blind Dates by Ashley Elston. This one is set during Christmas, but I picked it because she basically is going to her grandparents' house for the holidays, and it literally says in the description where the rest of her boisterous extended family is gathered for the holiday. That just seems indicative of Thanksgiving for me. Like, your whole extended family is here, and basically her family is gonna set her up on these different blind dates because she just got broken up with, and she's trying to just like find her identity again. And so basically all her aunties and uncles are like setting her up with these weird people, and she's just going out of the blue on these blind dates trying to find out. It's a very funny book. There is the sense of community not only in finding the relationships through these blind dates, but also with her extended family, and it's just very fun, very lighthearted, coming of age YA romance and contemporary fiction book. So if you really want that sense of extended family and also sort of like a fun romance type of mysterious book, then definitely check it out. And yeah, those are all the recommendations I have. I hope you find something good to read this Thanksgiving, and I'll be posting more book recommendation videos soon. If you want anything in specific, just let me know. And make sure to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up because I post videos every week, and I'll see you guys next week with a new video. Bye!